I'm Amber, and I'm just really thankful for this space to share, for a church that wants to hear and understand um, more of its body. So, just a little background, I'm biracial, so African American and Caucasian, but I grew up in an all white family in a small rural country town in Amherst, Virginia. So, my biological father was African American, black, but my dad and my mom are white. My younger siblings are white. I grew up in an all white church family. Um, I've been asked about 1,000 times, are you adopted or what are you? And honestly, deep down, I didn't really know the answer to that question. That was a question that I had for myself, who are you? Um, to add to it, as the only brown skinned girl in my elementary school or elementary class growing up, and just felt so out of place. So much that at about the age of 6, I think I tried to wash off my brown skin, with a bar of soap, um, just to look more like them, I think. Um, and I remember in school when you had to check a race box, which one are you? I never knew which one to pick, but I was always encouraged, like, just pick white. Um, you grew up in an all white family, you're more white than anything. Um, and so my great grandparents were extremely racist. I wouldn't have been allowed in their home because of my skin color. And even though, with new generations came more acceptance, um, I still had cousins that couldn't date black people or biracial people. So I wondered, I always wondered what that meant for me, what that meant, what that said about me as their family member. So I was never really encouraged to embrace my black side and all of me, but um, yeah, so I just subconsciously felt like I had to tuck it away. Um, but I'm thankful as I got older, I started to develop friendships with people of color and their families that just took me in, and I got to learn more about their culture and their experiences. And honestly, they were like a second family to me. Second family, but separate family. Because when I went to visit them, I had to turn off my whiteness, and when I went back home, I had to turn off my blackness. And it was just an exhausting life. Um, and I felt pressure just from my peers and society in general to act more black or act more white. It was hard to just be myself because I always felt like someone was judging, like the way I spoke or what I wore or who I was hanging out with. I had a family member who said she's going to get in trouble hanging out with those people, and it hurt because it's like those people are represent, just as much of me as you do. Yeah. So how has Jesus helped me face these challenges that are to do with race? Oh, Jesus. Just learning that my identity is in Him alone. In 2017, about 5 years or so after I really started following Jesus, I lost my older brother. He shared the same biological father as me. He was the only other family member that had my same skin color, that just felt completely a part of me. So that was really hard. And so I started seeing a counselor, and at the time, she quickly determined that I was having an identity crisis just by my emotional state. But to be honest, I didn't feel like it was much different than what I'd felt my whole life, just questioning who I was. But as I leaned more and more on Jesus to heal me through that, He showed me, Amber, I don't think that your identity has been as much in me as you believe it has been. And so, yeah, after years of feeling like I didn't belong, Jesus showed me, you belong to me. Amber, you belong to me. So just the one who formed me said, I have called you by name and you are mine. And just like David said in Psalms, you knit me together in my mother's womb, and thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. So yeah, Jesus has encouraged me to embrace my complexity and my complexion. That each curl, on my head is numbered and beautiful, and I am valued by Him, and that's what's most important. I wasn't ever meant to fit perfectly into any one category. And I've also been reminded constantly, just in my walk with Jesus, that, I'm not seeking the approval of man, but of God. And Paul said, if pleasing people were my goal, I would not be Christ's servant. And that truth in His word just lifted that pressure that I felt to fit in all my life, or to please people by acting more white or acting more black. So Jesus just took any embarrassment I felt, any confusion I felt, the feeling of estrangement and like I didn't belong, and is just using it all for purpose. Me being biracial wasn't an accident at all. So it's just a privilege, and it's beautiful, and I believe, God is showing me that I'm going to use you to be a bridge. So yeah, just saying, use me, Jesus. Use the things that I saw as challenges for your glory. And so maybe when people ask me, are you adopted? I'll just say, sure, adopted into God's family. But just so encouraging the church to do something more intentional. First of all, I'm thankful to be a part of a church that welcomes people from all different backgrounds. And you walk in, you see all the signs in different languages. There's the Swahili service. It's just amazing and beautiful, and, should be that way to represent the body of Christ. One thing that I was placing as a priority, my husband and I, when we were church searching and praying for a church, was just that it would be diverse. We wanted our son to grow up around other brown children, and so I wasn't only looking, though, for people of color in the congregation. I wanted to see people of color in leadership. So I think just being intentional about having people of color in leadership in the church, because I think it says a lot about the church and really points to Jesus when, it's not only encouraging people of color to attend the church, but to recognize their gifts and what they can bring as a leader, and entrusting them with other believers, other members of the body of the church. So, as an example, in the same way that I feel more comfortable going to a woman in the church for prayer or to be my mentor, a person of color might feel more comfortable going to someone that, shares the same background, that can just better understand maybe some of the hardships that they've faced or situations that they've been in. So yeah, I think as a church we could just always be intentional about that, and just specifically as followers of Jesus, I think we could just be better about stepping out of our comfort zone. Be intentional about forming relationships with people that don't look like us, not just what we're comfortable with. Just actively pursue others, specifically that look different, just like Jesus pursues us. And go with an open mind and heart. Ask ourselves, and I'm telling myself this too, but am I subconsciously placing an expectation or pressure on this person to act more like me to make me feel more comfortable? Or am I trying to change my heart to be more comfortable and happy to embrace all that they are? And not just embrace, but truly love all that they are, so that they can just feel free to be themselves. So yeah, let's just not put Jesus or God in a box. His creativeness that is so evident when we see different shades of skin tone, has never ever been limited. So I think that's important to remember for me too. And then I think when we remember that, that He is not limited, then we can see how necessary the different parts of the body are, and just better walk in that unity and harmony that He intended for us. So, yeah, thank you.